Hello, welcome back. You're listening to ABOG, a band of gamers podcast. This is our last episode, episode 253.
That's it.
That's it. This will be the one. But we've got a really good one here. We saved the best for last. Our favorite games of the 9+ years that we've been doing this. So we've got our lists privately shared, not in the agenda. So we're going to surprise each other with, and I'm sure we'll have some crossover here with some of the games we've enjoyed while doing ABOG for all of these years. Of course, we got what's in our pint glasses, a message. Is it messages plural or is it just a message? I think I just saw one. I think I just saw one.
We've got a message.
We got messages. Our own messages then too. There's the plural. And we're going to got some thank yous at the end. Probably some general shenanigans. It's our last ever episode, so we're just going to have fun. Like we always do, right?
Some beers.
Oh, you know it.
Beers. You guys got anything special lined up? We'll save it for what's in our pint glass later after the video games, but you got anything special lined up in the beer category?
Mine's quite special. Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
No, I got a whole rusty trusty.
That's what
I hate talking of... Never mind. Oh. Beers.
I'm pouring mine. Well, I'm Joel, your MC. One of your 3 co-hosts.
Hi, Joel.
I'm in Brookfield, Wisconsin, USA. Joining me. Thank you. Very good. Very well, I should say. Thank you. Joining me on this podcast journey, first of all, from Birmingham, England. He's coming out swinging. It's Carl. Hey, Carl.
You know it. 2022 better be ready, man, because I'm coming for you. Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know. 2021 was a good year for me personally. Like, it's pretty decent. And every time I look at me, it's like, oh, mercy, 2021, what a terrible year. And I was like, must be doing something right. But yeah, man, 2021, good year. 2022 is going to be even better.
It's all what you make of it, right?
It was a good year, actually.
Yeah.
When you think of it, it was. Because 2020 was pretty shitty, obviously. But it opened up a lot of time to think and make the adjustments with a lot of things going on in the world and making adjustments for myself and obviously for yourself as well, to get better and to be better and start working, from the inside outward. So I'm with you, man. 2021 was pretty damn good. Yes.
That voice you hear there, the ABOG optimist from Vancouver, Canada. One last time, it's Shane. Hey, Shane.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I was a bit nervous earlier.
Nervous?
The last show today. It's the first time I've been nervous in a while, but happy nervous.
Nervous, man. I haven't felt nervous doing this in decade plus.
Same.
Maybe it's just because it's that last one, right?
Right, yeah. Just, right off into the sunset. It's going to be good.
That's right. Did you get all them? You get the tears behind you? Just have a good cry last couple of weeks.
Man, just fucking...
We all prepared here?
Looking forward to what's next.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we start off with
our... games are what's next.
It is. Well, then let's go there. Let's save what I was going to start off with for later. Let's get into the games. How are we doing this? We did the albums, kind of saving the best for last, sort of reverse order. We doing that again, or are we just throwing them out there? What's the plan? Do we have a plan?
There's no plan, but
we never.
This time I am prepared for either eventuality, so it's up to you.
All right. Well, let's bring it all the way back to the beginning. Killzone 3.
Wow.
Ooh. Yeah, that game, we had so much fun with that game, with the community, with the VG Evo back then, before ABOG was even around. Met Shane playing Killzone 3. Some great memories. Killzone 3. I don't know if I'd play that game nowadays. There's so many great first-person shooters that have come since. But when I think about the duration of ABOG and one of my favorite games, that's definitely on the list.
110%. And I think I remember like because I had the disc and the multiplayer for some reason wouldn't work for me, so I ended up having to buy the digital download of just the multiplayer of Killzone 3 to be able to get in and play Sunday nights, because I just would see the tweets of people playing. I didn't know anybody or whatnot, so I just came in and fucking blew them all away. That's what I did, and the rest was history after that. But there's a group of folks that have been kind of like reverse engineering and bringing a lot of PlayStation 3 games back online. Motorstorm and Warhawk and a bunch of games and whatnot, and hopefully they get to possibly doing Killzone 3 and getting that back online at some point. That would be really, really cool. Even though, like Joel said, I'm sure it's showing its age and not as quite as some of the first-person shooters that we've been blessed with since. But it would be fun to, fire it up, get one last time. Do you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, and there was something simple about it too. Nowadays, first-person shooters are much more involved. This is why I don't play many of them anymore. There's way too much going on. It's like an RPG. You've got different loadouts for your weapons and so on and so forth. You play these games. I'm just saying.
Yep.
Drop in. You got a gun. You got a grenade. Let's go. Let's battle. Simple.
Man, PS3 though, like, isn't it weird to think with this show has spanned like 3 different generations?
It's pretty wild.
Carl, were you even born when the PS3 came out?
Barely. I was a babe in arms, and just someone put a controller there, and I was like, oh, "What's that?"
He was born with thumbsticks, kids.
That's an advantage. Competitive advantage. Right. Born with thumbsticks.
I love it. I mean, and what we're talking about, like, Killzone 3 was, and I was a little bit later to the party. I rocked up, and you guys are heavily into the community night aspect and all that sort of stuff. And for me, just shooters are a great way of having a community element, and a great way of everyone getting together and everyone playing and just having some fun. And we did that with a couple of other games, Battlefront, Star Wars, like that was a blast. And Overwatch is
buddy.
Yeah, is the one I've got to throw into the ring. And again, it was just such a good time. We went through a nice little phase after release and stuff. We had a great time with a load of different people, and it was very much like jump in, jump out. We're going to be online for a couple of hours. Whoever wants to just jump in. You might have to spectate a little bit at first, but then you can jump in and play a few rounds. And it was just an amazing game, really, for Blizzard to throw out there. And kind of one of these that just changed, it became something else, didn't it? Overwatch became, its own esport and all the rest of it. And they did a really good job with that game. We had some great times with it.
Yeah, they definitely bounced around a little bit with some of the balancing for a while there. But I still hop in and play. I'm still playing that every few weeks or whatnot. Rock on with with a couple of the boys and, just make a night out of it. And it's so good, man. I'm so looking forward to the second iteration that's supposed to be coming. It's going to be good.
Do you want to take it next, Shane?
Oh, boy. Shooters. So many good ones. Monster Hunter World.
Oh,
Monster Hunter World was just, knowing nothing about it and just seeing, kind of, it was anticipated. It came out like early in the year in a January, and, good friend of the show, Tim, high-tech redneck. It's not you, it's me, but it's you. He was a master at it, and having a dude like that along to show us the ropes and just get in there and actually just have fun with it, before having to worry about, gems and crystals and really getting really deep with, some of the RPG elements, but just being able to go in there and just have fun and just take down some beasts and, some of the monsters. It's such a great game. I almost want to say underrated, really, and it's probably not for everyone, but you get the right group together, you're just having a blast. The game is so much fun, and just one of my favorites, and that I still cherish from the PS4 era.
Oh, for sure. And again, like you, mate, I hadn't played one before, and everyone was like, "Oh yeah, it's going to come to the West, and it's really going to take off." And I'd tried it before, never really got there. And I remember playing this with you, Shane, and just all of a sudden, it was like, "Oh, there's 80 hours done," and I was like, "What?" You get the loading screen, and you got like how many hours you played. And it was just great. Like, it was really good to pick up and play for an hour or two. You could outfit your kitty and give yourself all these different armor pieces and weapons and that. It was just a really good game to keep going back to, and replayability was a great one. And again, community, it was great fun to just jump on with people. It was like jump on with Brian or Gabriel or whatever, and you're just jump on. Right. Yeah. And I don't know, Dave Barsnack's a big fan of the Monster Hunter series as well, and he actually sent me the one for the Switch. So I've been playing a little bit of that, which is decent as well, man. Like it's it kind of you play one of these games and then you get you understand. You're like, yeah, man, it gets you. I'm into it now. I never did play that Iceborne DLC though.
Oh, buddy,
I might need to go back and play that.
Getting those hot cocos, to keep your temperature, out in the elements. I know a couple of friends that weren't big fans of the Iceborne, but I enjoyed it. I liked what they added to it, and just seeing the snow element. Whenever a game adds snow, it just seems to be like so much cooler. Like GTA Christmas time when they add snow in for like 72 hours or whatnot. It's even more fun. It's a blast. Doesn't love snow. Damn Canadians.
Love it.
Hey.
I've got another one to go all the way back.
Joel, you played a bunch of Monster Hunters?
No, never played a Monster Hunter. Didn't seem like my bag, really. Ooh. I should have tried it, but just on the surface.
Maybe we need to try it in phase 2.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
It is a lot of loadout type things, so yeah, it might be.
Yeah, not into all that.
There's a lot of time fidgeting with that stuff, we'll say.
I fidgeted with this game a lot. It came out in 2012. To me, kind of a spiritual successor to Burnout Paradise. Not nearly as good. Not nearly as good. Need for Speed Most Wanted.
Yay.
Yeah, another game we played a lot with the community.
A lot of community nights with that one.
Yeah. That was pretty fun. Kind of the open world concept that Burnout Paradise had, right? Just race around, muck about. There was really no point to the online multiplayer except just hooking up with some friends and having some fun. Screwing around, driving around, talking, shooting the shit, drinking beers. Had some fun with that game.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't last that long.
Definitely.
And it's not one I'll ever go back to. But at the time, it was a big one for like a year. I think it was on my FODI list too, that shortly thereafter.
I remember that because it came out like just before American Thanksgiving. And I remember there was a bunch of us on, and Joel was having some little get together at his place, for the holiday, and kept running downstairs to hop in. He kept popping in and out of the room and whatnot to get a couple races in at a time. It's so much fun.
Oh, good memory. Damn.
Nice.
It's not the best. I remember the weirdest shit.
Those good times.
So I have to take photos of all my food that I eat because I forget what I've eaten.
Yeah, thank goodness for social media, right?
My photo album is just right.
Mm-hmm.
Rip.
Man, I mean, if you want to go down on the community theme as well, another one which was massive, and it's probably not in my favorite games, but it certainly was for a long time was a game that I was played a lot of, and that's Rocket League, and still play that now, still jump on with the boy. We still play a fair bit. I reached my peak, I think. A few years ago, and I've definitely hit this ceiling where, I can do some aerial stuff, but not, nothing spectacular. And now the boy has just completely eclipsed me to the point where, I think I just frustrate him when we play online against, like, he's like, do you want to play ranked? We'll play ranked. I'm like, oh, shit. The kid's like champ 1 or champ 2 or whatever he is now,
Right.
and I'm like platinum 3 or something. I'm like, but it's still it's another one of them games. It's like an Overwatch where it's fascinated me, and they had this niche game on the PS3 which me and Luke loved, supersonic acrobatic rocket battle cars. I'm glad I'm getting this one out of the way now before we drink too many more beers. And it was such a cool little game. And when Psyonix announced that they were making this sequel, I was so excited. I was like, I've got to interview the dudes at Psyonix because this game's going to be amazing. It's going to be, you don't understand how amazing this game's going to be. And it was, blown away that it's had the success it's had. And it's super toxic, and people who play it are, quite horrible to each other in the chat and all the rest of it. But hey, that's online gaming, right? So as long as you turn all that off and you mute them, you're all right. It's just a fantastic game. We had so many great times. We playing it with with community times and with other podcasts and stuff, and just we did charity streams for Extra Life, and it was just jump in, jump out. Just a great time all around. I think I've done over 1,000 hours of this game across all platforms.
1,000 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, over 1,000 hours. Yeah. The bulk of it being on PlayStation, but I've also played a chunk on Xbox and PC, and
hours.
Well, they say to master something, you need to spend.
That's a receipt.
To master something, you need to spend 10,000 hours. That's where Luke may have you there.
Let's go.
Yeah, he might do.
Man,
I remember when
we had community nights playing MotorStorm Apocalypse as well. Man, we played a lot of racing games back in the day.
Yeah, it's too bad too, because that was the weakest of the MotorStorms, the Apocalypse, but it was the only one that you could. Well, actually, I think wasn't Rift Apart online as well?
Yeah, they all had online. Yeah,
not the first one. That was before.
Yeah,
it did.
Yeah, the first one had online.
See, this is why I'm quitting. This is why we're getting out of here. We don't even know what the hell we're talking about. I don't.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was because the first MotorStorm is one of the games that's just been brought back online. So yeah, that one. Yeah, that one was online. I liked Apocalypse. I think Pacific Rift was probably the best of the three. But I really enjoyed Apocalypse. Maybe because of the fact that we had so many community nights playing it. I think it was like Thursday nights we'd play that, and Sundays were always Killzone, and then Thursday night was like a racing night or something. But yeah, I had a blast. I know GR Sonic had a blast too, man, because he's really good. He's really good at racing games. And I was getting my ass kicked by him a number of times. So,
oh no, especially when we have time trials and things like that on these games, and I'm like, I'm just happy if I'm not bottom. If I'm propping up the league, it's all right.
Right.
I bought a 3D TV to play that in 3D. MotorStorm Apocalypse. Remember?
That's right.
Remember when that was a thing on PlayStation 3? You could play games in 3D, and of course, Sony was selling 3D TVs. No tie-in, just a coincidence, right?
Yeah, then they did that monitor, the little one. It's like a 24-inch monitor.
Oh, the PlayStation monitor.
I remember picking that up just for the 3D to be able to try it out and see what it was all about. But
it was kind of cool.
It's a decent little monitor.
Yeah, not bad. The 3D glasses on.
Flickering on and off.
They had movies out in 3D.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird that now that 3D is not really a thing? I mean, I suppose it is to a degree, but it's not really. Not in a way that it was planned. And if you ever watch a movie now where you play a game and you have these like a cutscene moment, and it's clearly done just for the 3D, like the cars coming out at you, or like, and you're just like, oh man, and it just jumps out at you as one of those like sellout moments, in whether it's a movie or a game or whatever, and it's just like, oh man, that's such a shame. But fads will be fads.
Back when
it was a stepping stone to VR, really.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's probably why it's gone now. I mean, and then there's a 3D component to virtual reality, just the way it's presented and the way you're looking at things.
Yeah.
But in the theater, before the pandemic, I remember taking my nephew to see the latest Star Wars movie, and we saw it in 3D. So it may still happen, may still be around in theaters. Theaters got to think of a way to get you in the seats, right? Because just the home experience is better. Popcorn tastes better. Access to the beer fridge.
Yes, popcorn is much better at home.
Ooh,
movie theater popcorn is the most overrated popcorn of all time. Yeah.
No, I disagree.
Dude, come on over, man. Like, buddy. Get that stovetop action.
It depends. It's got to be warm, right? And that's normally if you get a cold pot like that's just not on.
That's right.
Are you sweet or salted popcorn people, chaps? Or, I don't think we've ever had this conversation. I like a bit half and half, like half sweet, half salted. Mix it together. Bit of a surprise. You don't know what you're going to get.
So you throwing on an icebreaker? Like,
no. You don't put sweet in your popcorn,
I just thought that's
buttery and salty.
Really not sweet.
Nah.
Buttery and salty. I'm not a fan of the sweet.
No sweet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe some cheese. I'll do a cheese corn. It's a little bit of tangy, maybe. But no sweet.
Yeah, I'm real old school, basic. A little bit of salt in there and then butter.
But not while I'm playing games. No dirty hands on my controllers.
Oh, hell no.
That's right. Rookie mistake.
Yep.
Especially you got those Hawkins cheesies. Get those all jammed up in the triggers, man. There's a drift, some drift cons for you.
Nice. How about Firewatch? One of my favorite walking simulators. One of the most chill games. Great story.
You're still trying to plug your game.
It's not my game.
Yes. Because the dude sounds just like Joel.
That was kind of weird.
To be fair, I did buy that game. And that was it. It's on the hard drive.
Oh, you never played it?
I did buy it. I have not played it yet.
No. Oh, it's fun.
I think I played about half an hour or so. And it was fun, but it was tripping me out a little bit because it just sounded like you.
The dude from Mad Men, I think, was the voice that everybody said sounded like me.
Yes.
In that game.
Yeah.
And he kind of did. We do sound similar. But a fun game. Takes place in the kind of the wild western region. Very wooded, almost like Wyoming, one of my favorite places in the world. So that's what drew me in. Get to walk around one of my favorite places while I'm in Wisconsin. Great game too. Good story in there. Neat little twist. Short and sweet.
No, but I remember you saying that about the story, and then I did look into it before I picked it up, and it did seem very, it hooks you in, and it's got that kind of calmness of, the freedom in the outdoors and moving around, but then obviously you've got the pressure of, fires, and the story is a little bit, not intense, but like, it certainly makes you think a little bit. So
yeah, and the color palette, the style of the game, it's beautiful colors and great style, very stylistic. There you go.
How good was Spider-Man?
Spider-Man on my list as well.
On my list for sure.
Right? Like, how good was that game?
So good, I want to play the Miles Morales. I still haven't played that.
Same.
But now that I got the PlayStation 5 for a while, that's on my short list. I want to see Spider-Man. It looked amazing on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. I can't imagine a faster, more optimized PlayStation 5 version. I can't wait to try that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a great job. I mean, as comic book games go, they've traditionally been a bit crap, haven't they?
True.
They've never quite hit it out the park. And Spider-Man was just amazing. So I too have not played Miles Morales yet either. And I don't know why. I don't really know why I haven't. Like Guardians came out and I was like, oh, comic book game. Going to buy that for 70 quid and play that. And then I was like, just looking at Spider-Man next to it on the shelf for 50 quid. I was like, well, I've done this, but it is what it is. But I should definitely be playing that this year.
Yeah, I think you want to play that too, Shane. I think we should play it. And even though we won't have a show to talk about it on, next time we hang out, we need to chat about that game.
Yeah, for sure.
There you go. Staying on the PlayStation 4, God of War.
Oh, man, what a game.
PlayStation's got the games, right? So every time a friend asks me, would you get an Xbox or a PlayStation? I'm like, get the PlayStation.
You can't say that.
They got the games. God of War. Great PS4 game.
That was a brilliant game. And some of the Gods of War, it's on my list as well, like some of the God of War games didn't hit with me particularly. God of War 3 did. Like I really enjoyed that. And that was the only one I finished actually, other than God of War on the PS4. So, and again, I think I own them all. Just never bothered finishing any of them. I think I got close on the original God of War. That PS2, would that been PS2?
Yeah. I think they had like a
Chains of Olympus. I can't remember. That was like
was on the PSP.
That was a PSP game.
That's it. But yeah, this just it just jumped out at me straight away. Like that flip into Norse mythology, the storytelling was brilliant. Like the characters were so well done, and it just looked amazing. And the combat just had that little kind of Dark Soulsy little bit to it, with the dodging and stuff. It just felt great to play. And what I need to go back to again, maybe play through that again or try and platinum it. I don't think it's too bad a platinum.
It was the
so
story.
Are you guys going to be day one on Ragnarok?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I really like the story. I played all the God of Wars. I didn't finish the PSP ones, but I played the PlayStation 3, the PS2. Wow. The God of War 3 was on PlayStation 3. 1 and 2 were on PlayStation 2, but I think they remade them or remastered them, whatever the hell you call it. They were on PlayStation 3. Yep. But God of War on PlayStation 4 was, not only did it have the good controls that the early ones have, but the story was all about the story. And it was still a great, fun, controlling game. So beautiful. Yeah, I'm in on the new one. I want to see what happens with the boy, how he develops.
Nice. While we're talking about good-looking games, I've got to throw Cuphead into the mix. It was just such a stunning game to look at, and it just hooked me in straight away the minute I looked at it. And it took a bit of time, for it to come out on all platforms. But as Shane predicted, it was definitely going to come out on PlayStation, and he was proved correct. And it was just, if you want a solid, rock solid platformer, like an platform shmup, I suppose, if you think about it, then give it a go. Like, it is balls hard in places, but it's just that charm, that animation style, the old 50s style cartoon, the music's killer. Like, it's just such a lovely game.
Yeah, somebody gave me a code. I think it was Glenn gave me a code to the soundtrack. Glenn from PS Nation, cool. And amazing music to that game. It's way too difficult for me to play. Have to admit, I wasn't born with thumbsticks. I tried, but no, I gave up. Beautiful game, but that soundtrack, dude, that jazzy soundtrack, is ragtime kind of jazz. It's amazing. What video game has ragtime jazz music? I mean, that's it. And they did such an excellent job of it. And it tied so well to that old animation style. Beautiful game. But good on you, Carl, that you could actually play that. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
It's them thumbsticks.
I mean, I never finished it, but I got reasonably far. But yeah, you're right. Like, imagine that cell going to the studio. We want to make this game, and everyone's on about 3D games, all these new, the new looking games. Like, we want to make it look like an old cartoon. You just think old ragtime blues, and it's like, oh, get out.
A lot of the stuff was hand drawn too.
Yeah,
just pretty amazing.
We'll have to apologize here to the listener. Got some latency. That's our last show, though. Nice. We're gonna ride it out, but a little robotics there for you to close out the ABOG. Sorry about that, everybody. Oh well.
I am sorry.
Just talk the rest of the show like that. It'll work out just perfectly.
Throw different voices in the mix. I've got to throw another one in there as well. Just purely because I love this game so much, and it kind of, I don't even know if I was on the show when it came out, but Borderlands 2 and into Borderlands 3.
Yeah,
just at the best of times. That game I've played on every system. Just a brilliant shooter, and I love the storylines. I love the crazy characters. And I know when 3 came out, everyone was saying, "Oh, it's a bit too crazy still," and it's getting tired and all the rest of it. And I'm just like, nope, I'm fine. Give me more. And looking forward to that new Tiny Tina game in March. I think it is.
I think I wouldn't have normally jumped into the Borderlands universe, but if it wasn't for folks I've met through ABOG community, I probably obviously never would have. And through that, I have some of my favorite gaming moments. I mean, playing Borderlands 2 and Carl offering to stay up all night to wait for myself to get off work and massive attacks so we can take down Terra Morpheus in the evening here on the West Coast. And Carl, making coffee, watching the sunrise, so we could take down these monsters, these base. I mean, it was unbelievable, just so much fun, and just it was just so cool. And then having that continue into playing Borderlands 3, finishing that game, getting the platinum in Borderlands 3 with Massive Attack, and I just just an incredible night to finally get that last trophy. And just I was literally dying on the battlefield, just yelling about turn in, and just to finish that mission, to be able to get that trophy, it's going to be a fond gaming memory for forever. And so the Borderlands series will always be very close to my heart because of these great moments with friends.
I thought Carl was going to say something. I apologize. The internet's just acting just nasty today. We've had massive internet. But great timing, though. Our last ever ABOG, and the internet just will not cooperate. Wonderful. Wonderful.
It's obviously it's just telling us. It's just letting us know. It's objective, you could say. We talked a lot about Sony games. I'm going to throw a bit of an Xbox one into the mix, and the Forza Horizon, and the last couple. I've thoroughly enjoyed them. 2, 3, and what are we on now? 4.
We're on 5 now.
Mexico. 5 now. Okay, yeah. So 3, 4, and 5. And that was the first one I played, was the one in Australia, which was 3, and then just hoovered that up. Really loved it. It was just the kind of racing game that I would like to do. I like to, obviously I'm an RPG guy, so I like a big open world, and I like to tick things off a map, and it kind of tick that box really. And I think it doesn't get tired. Like I thought maybe when the new one come out, I might be like, yeah, this is a bit more of the same, and I'm not really that fussed. But I've still played a load of the one in Mexico, and it's just a great little franchise from Microsoft.
Not surprisingly on my list as well. I just wrote the Forza Horizon series, so 3, 4, and 5, all great, tons of fun. Never finished them, and you got to spend hundreds of hours in that game, right, to get through everything. But it's always good just to grab the driver's wheel and steering wheel, I should say, race around. I love the open world. I mean, back to Burnout Paradise, which will probably keep coming up because it's just an amazing game. That open world concept for a racer, just driving around, doing whatever the hell you want, and then there's events just littered across the world. I love that formula. And add in like the MotorStorm feel to it as well, with the off-road stuff that you can do in Forza Horizon. Great series, great game. And I've been playing some of 5 as well in Mexico. It looks incredible on the Series X. Unbelievable.
Definitely a lot of eye candy in that series.
Yeah, it's one of the things that's actually made me think about getting a Series X as well. Obviously, I'm playing this on PC, and it does run well, and it looks pretty, but it doesn't look anywhere near as pretty as it would look on that Series X on my rig anyway. So, maybe next year, or maybe this year, maybe I need to pick up a Series X.
Yeah, I wonder if you'll be able to stumble into a store and see one. It seems like they're still hard to come by.
Yeah, they are. I did look at Christmas. But no, in short supply over here.
We can always pay a scalper.
Carl's never going to a store again.
That is true. If I can't get it online, I'm not interested.
All right.
Unless it's an instrument.
So instrument you have to get in the store?
The Crew 2.
The Crew 2?
Speaking of open world racers.
Yeah, that was your game of the year that year.
And put 10,000 hours into. Yeah, that's the one for me. The Crew 2, not the prettiest game, not the most flawless game, but I love what it does have, and it is so much fun, and I still play it. 3.5 years later, weekly, I hop in and still knock off some summit events, and I keep leveling up. I'm pushing level, I think 1800. So. Yeah, we still going, fam. We going for a long way on this one. I love that game. So There's some elements and that's the thing is there's elements in this game that I don't like and I don't care for. And I do think is kind of hokey. But I just keep going back. You know, all those games, it's a new drive club for me.
Got another Xbox One. Gears of War 4 and 5. Probably throw any of them on there, but I'm talking about the duration of ABOG here. Gears of War 4 and 5. Lots of Horde mode with Tim Paulin and Sergio and Barzanak. Adrian, I think, at one point even joined us for a few of those.
Yeah.
Nice.
Great game. It's your big bulking third-person shooter, your big muscle-bound WWE kind of character. It's way over the top.
Right.
But it's just fun. You're shooting baddies in the face. I mean, come on. It's a good time. And it's pretty. It runs well. And for co-op, it's a damn good co-op game. Always lots of good community nights there playing those.
You're a big Horde guy. I like your Horde modes.
I am. I'm a co-op guy. I like co-op games. I'm not much into the competitive video games, mainly because I don't have the time to dedicate to them.
Yeah.
And I get smoked, and it's so frustrating, right? We all know this. If you're not like great at the game, you get in there, it's not fun at all. Just getting smoked over and over. I don't like being the guy on the bottom of the leaderboard who's the pin cushion for everybody else who's playing. Like, it's not.
That's funny.
It's not great. Not great at all.
That's funny. I gotta start using that one.
Co-op, you work together. And in the Horde mode is that. I mean, and now you see a lot of games kind of copying that formula.
Yeah.
And same kind of thing, Left 4 Dead. Awesome.
There you go.
Awesome co-op game. 4-player. You have to strategize with your teammates. You have to communicate. It was frantic. It was like tense. Random shit happening all over the place. You got to sneak by the witch, or if she catches you, you're all dead. I love those co-op experiences in Left 4 Dead. Xbox exclusive at the time.
Yeah.
Great game.
That Back 4 Blood's not bad, actually. I played some of that on the Xbox. Well, PC, obviously. And that wasn't bad. I played a couple of hours. And it's all of a sudden, it's actually quite cheap as well on console. So I might pick that up on PlayStation, perhaps. Maybe that's one that we can jump in on, because it does look like it's good to pick up and play, you know.
I think so. Yeah, hold off on buying that.
And that is crossplay, isn't it?
It is crossplay.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Noted.
Yeah.
Yep. That'll be on our list here soon.
Nice. Talking about shooters, and I've got to give an honourable mention. I'm probably going to get slaughtered here.
Probably.
Cyberpunk.
Oh, jeez. All right. I'm out. Thank you. Good night.
I still go back and play this game. And maybe I am being a little bit more lenient, because they made one of my favorite games of all time, which we'll talk about shortly. But this game wasn't that bad. It really wasn't as bad as everyone was making out to be. Bethesda gets a free pass for making games with fuckloads of issues with them, and it had a great story. Really enjoyed it. Time flew by, and I still put this in, and I still have a blast with it. It will get tweaked, and the PS5 and Xbox versions, when these next gen versions come out, they'll be really smooth. They'll be great. I wish I'd had a beast of a PC to play it on at its maximum settings, but I had a great time with this game. And I know it's subjective, but I had to give it a little shout out.
Yeah, why not, man? You loved it. You're one of the few that I heard that actually enjoyed that game. Good on you. And I think after it gets all ironed out and the bugs all fixed up, I'd like to give it a try. It looked like a great game, a good idea. It just came out and was a buggy mess, unfortunately. But expectations were through the roof, right? I mean, it's from the Witcher 3 developer, and they expected something similar. But nowadays, there's so many games that you just mentioned, free pass, Carl, that get free passes for this, right? I mean, the new Battlefield comes out, and everyone's like, well, in a year, it'll be great. But it's out now. Like, everyone's buying it, and it's like, it's okay. It'll be great in 6 months to a year. There's a total free pass on a lot of these big, huge games. But that one just got lambasted. Maybe it's because it's single player. Maybe people expect the multiplayer to have be more buggy. I don't know.
Yeah, and they overpromised as well. You know, they did promise it'd be all singing or dancing. You know, so I don't think they tempered expectation as well as they could have.
It's not how you.
And EA
it's
will
not how you
always
sell
get
games.
it because of the fact that it's EA, right? Like I've been playing Battlefield 2042, and yeah, I mean, there's been a few things. I haven't experienced a lot of major issues that people claim to have, and I've still had a blast playing it, and it's a lot of fun, and it's Battlefield, and Battlefield's great.
It's all that matters, man.
People, I think there's also a lot of another side of it where a lot of people start splitting hairs with things, and you go down the list of games that come out, and day one, there's issues with all of them. It's just Cyberpunk. I think a lot of it had to do with a lot of the hype, but the way it performed on the last gen consoles, because everything has to be played on every console, and you got to have every iteration of it. I think was a mistake, and maybe should have just stayed focus on the next gen consoles and have it run brilliantly, and you probably never would have had these issues.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. I've been thinking about this a lot lately as we are on our last episode here and not doing a video game podcast. And I'm not going to listen to a lot of video game podcasts. I'm going to take a break from all of the media that is associated with video games and try and be more like my friends who are more casual with video games, and they just discover something and they're not reading all the reviews. They're not hearing from all their friends about what's great and what sucks. Just play a game and have some fun, man.
Yeah.
We get so into what everybody else is saying and what the reviews are, and I just live and die by that crap, and it's unfortunate. This is probably a lot of great games that got bad reviews that I never played, and I want to stumble into those more. And I think not doing this, I'll have more opportunity to stumble into those games.
I never said it, but when we were talking about kind of shutting things down, that was exactly my feeling. I just want to game for the sake of gaming and just enjoying whatever it is I decide to play and enjoy, and not feeling like I have to play something, or for the sake of talking about it and having an opinion. I don't like being forced to have an opinion about the stuff either. So I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's kind of how I've been feeling for quite a while.
And you shouldn't be meant to feel guilty about enjoying a game that people are saying that you shouldn't enjoy, or that you shouldn't be playing because of X, Y, Z. Selective outrage.
If you could have seen my DMs,
people are going through. It's like, it's just whether it's Drive Club, and people saying, the game should be free. It's not good enough, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, no, I'm enjoying Drive Club. It's pretty good, right? Or it's like, whatever, pick a game. It's like, you shouldn't buy that. You shouldn't support the studio. Well, kind of just want to play the game,
Well, Drive Club better be on Shane's list. If not, it is now.
100%, boys. It's on there from day one. And speaking of DMs, getting messages of shit talking for how much I enjoy Drive Club, from folks that don't even play racing games. Just shut the fuck up. Like, I got a lot of heat for that. But you know what? I love the game. It's always going to be one of my favorite racing games. I've got numerous, we've been on our Instagram, numerous copies, special editions from Europe and all over, and got the vinyl soundtrack, beautiful vinyl soundtrack, which is brilliant. And so many, not just like score chasing, doing some time trials, which we've done in the community a number of times, but just getting folks together and racing and just having a blast. And some more of like some of my favorite gaming moments with Barznak. Barznak Massive Attack. We getting in there and racing, and just the chirping and the beacon, while playing. It's just, there's stuff I can't really say on the show, but in stitches, absolutely in stitches over some of the nights. Just fantastic stuff. And Yeah, that's my game, man. I love my Drive Club now.
I miss it. I wish it was still available.
Right now, there's a game you can bring back to the online. Those boys that are working on that,
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a sequel. Never.
I'll tell you one I really enjoyed actually, which again
Actually,
cost.
One sec, Carl.
Go.
Sorry, but you can tell when when Evolution Studios broke up and a lot of their teammates got scattered around. You can tell where they are at by some of the games coming out now. Dirt 5 heavily feels a lot like Drive Club. Blew me away. I never expected that. I was never a big, fan of the series or whatever they say. Holy crap. And it's supposed to be free on Plus in January. So great opportunity. Love there's your chance. Get in there. It's superb. Even Codemasters with the F1 series. Yeah, no, it doesn't feel like Drive Club, but they changed once that studio got picked up. Some of these racing series started to change. So the legacy of Drive Club is living on in one way or another. So just wanted to put a couple cents in there. Sorry, Carl.
No, man, by all means. And talking about putting a couple of cents in, that this is the game I was going to talk about. And always a fan when I was younger, playing pinball, putting the coins in, play a few games, down the chip shop and whatever. We didn't have many arcades in the UK. We have none pretty much now, unless you're at the seaside, and they're not really the same thing. But the Zen Pinball series and the other pinball series is arcade.
The other.
Yeah, there was two pinball.
Pinball Arcade, buddy.
Pinball Arcade, that's it.
Bro.
Arcade pinball.
Don't worry, it's on my that is on my list. Pinball Arcade. So.
Oh, great! And again, just such a great way to reinvigorate an old game, an old way of being entertained. Like these digital pinball tables, so much fun. And I lost count on the amount of hours, amount of score chases, amount of competitions we had, and just that feeling of beating your mate's score, like jump on, gotta do a couple more 100 million on World War Hulk or whatever to try and beat Lord Teamaker or somebody. And I'm just like
good luck.
Yeah, I know he's a beast on them. But I got such a kick out of when I was younger, I used to play on Commodore 64 Spectrum or whatever. You get a little cassette tape and it had a couple of shitty free games on there, and you get a pinball game and you'd be like, oh yeah, wicked, it's just like the arcade. But these tables were amazing, they were so good, and lost count the amount of hours. Just chuck it on, let's play a few rounds. It's just great pick up and play game, so much fun.
Yeah, I love that Pinball Arcade. I was a bit more of a fan of that, especially when it came out on PS4. I know it, had some performance issues back on the PlayStation 3, and even a little bit on the Vita as well. But when it came out on the PS4, it was absolutely gold, and it felt really, really good. Proper, realistic, ball physics and pinball. I really enjoyed that compared to the Zen. Until Zen Pinball or Pinball FX, I think it's also called. Up until they started doing the real world tables, like the Williams collection and Stern. Before that, I always felt that the ball physics were a little weird, and I never really liked those. And another game, I got a lot of shitty DMs from folks about that for talking down it. But when they added the real world tables, the physics changed, and they're so much better. And I've picked them up and I've played a little bit of them on was it the Pinball FX or Zen Pinball? I always forget the name of it. But they play really well. They really nailed those. Now, if they would adapt those physics to their, to all their licensed tables, I mean, you got a home run there easily. But the fact that they were able to get all these licensing from not only the Marvel but the Star Wars, and doing, Back to the Future and Family Guy and Bob's Burgers, which is brilliant as well. I mean, there was something for everyone in there, and it had come a long way for video game pinball, and them getting those licenses did I think a lot for video game pinball, and definitely deserve a lot of the credit that they've gotten.
think I'll shout out Midwest Gaming Classic while we're talking about classic pinball tables. Nothing beats the old 70s pinball games. I mean, that's where it's at. I would love to have, and I'm sure it'll probably happen someday because I get what I want because I'm spoiled. But to have like a nice pinball table in my basement, my man cave area, maybe 2.
Captain Fantastic.
You know, I don't know which one. It'd be really tough to choose. You know, what scares me away is the amount of upkeep and repair, maintenance that you have to have on those tables. They're hard just to throw in there. I remember at Midwest Gaming Classic, though, they had, when Carl was in town, they had the Zen Pinball virtual table.
Oh, yeah.
Just giant like screen set up like a pinball table. And it had the buttons actually felt tactile, like they'd push at you a little bit. And it played and felt like a regular pinball table. So to Shane's point, technology, I love that they're making good use of this awesome technology in real ball physics, right? Of all the things they could be doing, let's make a proper like pinball video game, digital pinball game. That's so cool. That is so cool. I love that game too. I love those games. Pinball FX,
and like you said,
Zen Pinball.
You know, with the maintenance of these tables, you know, 2 things on it. You're in a good area, being in Wisconsin in the Midwest, where that pinball tables have been kept alive very, very well, and there's a lot of enthusiasts in your neck of the woods. So I don't think maintenance would be a very, very big problem at all.
Very true.
You know, when the time needs, because there's always going to be folks, you know, out there to be able to handle that stuff. And the second thing is, you know, being able to have all these, you know, great ball physics and whatnot, you're preserving all these tables going forward, which is extremely important because, you know, pinball tables do require a lot of maintenance, you know, when they do, right? Stuff always goes wrong. There's an incredible amount of moving parts in there. It's a great way to preserve them. And maybe that's another reason why I've really enjoyed Pinball Arcade. And I'm just glad that there's, you know, it's come to that point where we can preserve these great tables and great memories from our generation to younger folks that, you know, pinball tables weren't nearly as popular growing up.
Yeah, not everybody has a Midwest Gaming Classic in their backyard where you can literally play these tables, a lot of them. And it's such an amazing experience. I was so heavily involved in volunteering, I never got to really get out and enjoy them as much as I wanted to. But I'm looking forward in the future to going there as just a patron and just spending a day in the pinball hall playing those games. Man, I cannot wait. Every time I'd
recommend it.
Every time I'd sit and play a game, I get like a text, like, get back to the stage, shit's hitting the fan, like,
Right.
Yeah, pinball. I'm glad you guys brought that up. Totally forgot about it. And Midwest Gaming Classic deserved a shout out. And Dan Lucen and Gary Heil also deserve a shout out for all the support they gave to ABOG over the years and just being a part of that through us, through this podcast, being involved with Midwest Gaming Classic. An honor
100%.
And a privilege. Great event.
Well, I mean, how many more have we got left, chaps? Because I've still got a few.
I've got a half dozen or so, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right, I'm gonna throw a Switch game in. And
Sweet Zelda.
I think.
Come on, that trolling will never die. Never.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you mentioned Zelda because a lot of people say that's not the best game on the Switch, when actually the best game on the Switch is Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which if I hadn't played, still got this game and love it so much, I might have even got rid of the Switch a couple of times. You know, it was crossed through my mind, you know, over the years. We're like, oh man, do I need the Switch? But having Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and its expansion Torna, put a load of hours into these games, and it was the first Xenoblade game I played, and just fell in love with it. And it was clunky; it had its little issues and all the rest of it, but I genuinely believe that this is the best game on the Switch. Not for me. It's a quality JRPG, great story, and just it handles really well. It's better docked than undocked. I think, you know, graphically it does suffer a little bit when you take it out, just because of that little screen. But luckily for me, I only ever really play mine docked anyway. But yeah, it's a fantastic game. It's never really come down in price. Otherwise, I'd suggest to people pick it up. But I don't know if you get it cheap. It's the problem with the Switch, I suppose, and physical games. But yeah, I loved it. So it was really, really fun, and yeah, spent a good couple of 100 hours in that one as well.
While on the Switch, I suppose I could do the other Z sounding game, Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. Fucking love that game. I love it. I love it so much.
Go, buddy. Good.
When that sequel comes out, I'll be all over that. Carl's giving me
Nice.
some fucking symbols with his fingers.
Right.
I'm sorry you didn't love it, Carl, but I absolutely love it. It's one of those games where I'll put
glad you do.
I'll put the flag out there and say it's one of the best games ever. I cannot wait for the sequel.
Nice.
You know, when the sequel comes out, I'll be wanting to do an ABOG episode or some shit about this. I'm just totally hyped. I can't wait. Absolutely. I mean, for me, owning a Switch was all about that game. And I played a few other great games, the Mario, Odyssey, and a few others. But Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, I still pull my Switch out on occasion. I have to charge it because it's dead, because it's been sitting there forever. But then I play some Breath of the Wild. Just that open world. It's a perfect Zelda game. The best Zelda game, too, ever.
Really?
Not only the best Switch game, the best Zelda game ever.
Whoa.
Amazing, amazing game. And for somebody like me who doesn't like the loadouts and all the little elements and the cooking and all the crap that goes into an RPG.
True.
It just took all that and made it fun. It made it fun. I don't need to see need to see the numbers. I don't need to know where my shoes are and where my belt is and what kind of pants I have. Just let me play the damn game and behind the scenes do all that crap. And that's exactly what Breath of the Wild does. It has all those elements, but puts it in a fun action game. It doesn't make you think about the numbers. You just go out there and get your ass kicked. Like, okay, wait a second. I got to get a better weapon. I need a shield. Like it forces you to learn how to interact with the world. And it's so well constructed, that world. Every little nook and cranny of that game is well thought out. It is the amount of effort that must have went into that is just astounding to me. It's a brilliant game. There you go.
I'm not gonna bash it. Like, it is a good game. Like, I've never said it's not good. It is a good game. I'm not on the same page as the rest of the hype with everybody else, but I am really glad that a game like that spoke to you, though, Joel, and that you've enjoyed it. You've finished it. You go back to it. Like, that's a sign of a great game. Like, if Shame with the Crew too. I've got a few that I'll always go back to and be like, I've got half an hour. I'll jump in. I'm going to have a wander around here. And that's a sign of a great game. Like, and it doesn't really matter what I say. Like, it speaks to you and you thoroughly enjoy it. And I'm delighted that you do. And I can't wait for number 2 for you. And I'm sure at some point I will go back to it and I'll play it again, I'm sure. But it's just one of those games. I think, again, another home run by Nintendo on that system. Like, the Switch is just a bit of a beast of a system. Another home run from them, Super Mario Odyssey, which is on my list. Again, thoroughly enjoyed. I'm not a massive Mario game person, really. Like, I love Mario 64.
Coward.
Like, I love and I love the original ones. The original Super Mario 3. And then
buddy.
Super Mario World on
Super
the SNES.
Mario World.
The masterpiece. Like, that's my probably
100%.
favorite Mario
Those are the
game.
best. Those two are the best.
And then you had a few of the Mario Galaxy and like Mario Sunshine and a few like the 3D ones which I didn't quite connect with, didn't really feel them. So when Odyssey came out, and I was just like, man, I'm just sold on it. Like, it was just so polished, so well done, and just so much fun to play. Like, and I again played through it, finished it. I was like, what's next? Let me collect some more stars. So. And again, another one's great to just take it off the shelf and have a little run around and do a couple of bits, maybe find another star or two. It's just a superb game.
I have to give Mario 64 a shout out too, because that game was that was amazing. Very good game. Mario Odyssey, I really want to love it, but I don't love it. It was too easy. It was way too easy. Didn't you feel?
What to know?
Yeah, it never felt challenging to me. Whereas Mario 64, like, This is before game facts and the internet and stuff like that. Just to figure that game out was crazy. The stuff that you just had to kind of trial and error through stuff to find out how to get those stars. Amazing.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
The difficulty in it isn't so much in the story, I suppose. It's more finding some of the little, the hidden stuff and doing all that. But I know what you mean. I think it's definitely more accessible to kids than the Mario 64 was when we played it. I mean, I spent about 15, 20 minutes just on that screen where Mario's face comes up and you get to pull his nose and his ears. And I was like, oh my God, look at these graphics. These are amazing. Like,
totally.
I'm easily pleased.
All right, Shane, what do you I feel like we're skipping over you here? What do you got?
I don't know, man. There's been so many good ones. Like one that I believe was a favorite of the year for myself. I know Carl really enjoyed it well. Was Nier Automata.
Oh,
dude, yeah.
Which, not something I'd ever would have even tried, or given a fair shake even. But I don't know, man. I don't know if it was like there, and it's not like there was a lot of hype at the time. It was just people saying like, this game's incredible, and it just finally, bit the bullet and picked it up, and wow, unbelievable! Not just the art style, but the whole feel of the game is just absolutely brilliant.
The soundtrack, mate, unbelievable soundtrack.
Everything about that game was just perfect for me. Not a big hack and slash, but I loved it. It was so much. Everything about the game was so much fun. The boss battles and all the different just blew me away time and time again. The characters and just everything about that game was just perfect. And I'm pretty sure it was a favorite of the year that year. But yeah, one that I got the physical copy, and it's like one that I've always kept. So like I'm never gonna trade in or whatnot, just because there's so many great moments, so many great memories, I should say, playing that one.
That's a great choice, mate. Great choice. Like you, I couldn't put that game down. I didn't put it on my list. So I've just completely forgotten about it. It's one of them. It's soundtrack's unreal. I loved playing the game just to hear the music. Like whether it's the battle tunes or the more chilled out ones, like when you're into like the little spoilers if you haven't played, but there's a little robot village.
Oh my God,
the music
dude.
is playing when you're in there, and it's like, oh God, this is so much fun.
Almost kind of steampunky.
Yeah, they just nailed it. Absolutely nailed it with that game. Excellent choice.
So good.
I like those artistic, weird, tweaked experiences inside that game.
Dude.
Ooh, great game.
Great game.
Short, dark, weird as shit at the end, but made it all worthwhile. I mean, you can't spoil it even to this day. If you haven't played Inside, put it on your list. Made by the people that made Limbo. Just a great game.
Oh, I love Limbo so much. Great
game. I'm hoping they put out something else, and I'm sure they probably will.
Both of those games. Yeah. Both of those. Like Inside, I think would be a little bit more easy to get into, I would say. Just because of the way the art is and just kind of the whole atmosphere might be a good place to start. But if you really like that, kind of platformer and just kind of weird and whatnot, Limbo definitely, I like equally as creepy. But yeah, I played so much Limbo too. And I was hesitant on Inside, and the Inside came out on Xbox first. It was exclusive for the first little bit before it came to, the PlayStation. But yeah, good call, man. Two great platformers, and Inside just so weird ending, just really really cool. Yeah. Well done.
One of the weirdest endings ever in a video game, right? I mean, that it's like I had to pause it and just take a moment. Like, what in the hell is going on right now?
So true.
But it just blew my mind. It was so cool. It was a great way to end a great game. And it's such a lasting impression, too. And just the style of it. It's just a dark, twisted world. I mean, it's not hard. It's not the typical
No.
game. It just draws you in like a great record or something that you just fell in love with, you know? It's amazing. Made my list.
Kind of blue.
There you go. Ooh.
Yep.
Ooh,
Excellent. Right?
I like that.
So the puzzle platformers, if you're a fan of puzzle platformers and you haven't played either one of them, you owe it to yourself.
I haven't played a lot of Limbo though, Shane. I feel like after you just said that, I need to go back and now check that out some more. I think it's on my hard drive.
You should.
Never played it.
Yeah, definitely worth it. The game, some of the deaths in that game just would make me jump. So you're not expecting.
Damn.
Good stuff.
I'm down to like
Awesome.
3 or 4 left. Where are you guys at?
5.
Yeah.
So
All right, we'll start.
I'll roll one off.
Rattling them off.
My list would not be complete. Would not be complete without Diablo 3. Again, played so much of it over the years. PS3, PC, PS4, Xbox. Just again, whenever I could get it on Switch as well. But just such a phenomenal game, and something you can easily just bowl into and replay, and great with your mates. Like it's one of them games you can jump on and play, have some beers, and talk, and not really think about the game. You know, you play, you're having fun, you're collecting shit, getting better gear and all the rest of it. But it doesn't really take a lot of thought, which is it's quite a nice palate cleanser. Sometimes jump in and when the seasons drop and the little challenges come out, I'm like, yeah, I'll jump on and do a couple of hours, and just each time it's one I always go back to. And yeah, roll on Diablo 4. Can't wait.
For sports, talk about a lot of sports games, really. But this series desperately needs to make a comeback. Fight Night and Fight Night Champion.
Oh, hallelujah.
Which is
the
best boxing game ever made. Fight Night Champion, absolutely brilliant. And it's a shame that some of the DLC, the add-on stuff, has now been delisted. But they had some great packs. Adding some boxers in different weight classes, and you know what I mean. But they also added a bare knuckles mode.
Wow.
I don't know if you could really pull that stuff off. Nowadays, really.
Probably not.
I guess you kind of could, but not really. But it was a really, really cool add-on. Being in like a prison and just some old fashioned, unbelievable. Everything, the game played so well. Had some of the best fatigue physics. You couldn't afford to waste punches and button mash. The game really made you think and put combinations together. And when you did, and they landed, you were rewarded with it. Like you really had to put your stuff together in it. And Fight Night, I would absolutely love to see another one. I don't think that's going to happen for quite some time. But there is a esports boxing club game that is supposed to be coming sometime in 2022. I think it was supposed to be 2021, but I haven't seen anything lately. But they've got a massive roster of licensed fighters and boxers and whatnot, and it looks like they're putting a lot of work into it to really get some of the physics down right. And I'm really looking forward to it because we haven't had a great boxing game since, and so it'd be a lot of fun. I love boxing, and those games are always so much fun. But yeah, Fight Night Champion, it was so good. Absolutely brilliant game.
Good shout, man. That's a great game. I love the mechanics. The control mechanics are brilliant in that game, and the predecessors. I remember more of the one before that.
Round 4, which is really good as well.
Yeah. Good memories. I'll throw this one out there real quick because it's personal, very personal. It's not going to be on your guys' list, but Pixel Junk Monsters 2. There you go.
Oh yeah.
Yep. If they make a 3,
the inaugural plat.
Yeah.
You won and only.
My first ever platinum. No, I got a platinum in the Astro's Playroom. Is that what it's called?
You did, yeah.
I got 2 plats now.
Okay.
Look at me.
Oof.
Right?
Almost a gamer.
Yeah, almost. Not quite. Not quite.
What else? What else have I got here?
Well, you
shout out
played
to
it. Well, Joel, you played a ton of the first one, like every console, I imagine. Like played through them, getting all the rainbows, and
yeah, it is a PlayStation 3 exclusive. Never made other consoles. I'm friends with the developer on Facebook.
Yeah.
I played that so much. And being on PS Nation at the time, we had that access. So still chat with Dude on occasion. But I love me some
Nice.
Pixel Junk Monsters. Yeah, total honk.
this is cool.
there was a few fun Pixel Junk games back then. You know, there was the Racers. It was kind of like an arcadey style,
Shooter.
top down. And Shooter 2.
Shooter 2. What's the side-scrolling one? Those are like
A side scroller.
yeah, oh my
Wasn't
God. Just like a Gradius kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Great game. Man, why did I forget all those? Damn.
I don't know, but they had some. There was some like because they were like coming out like almost like every 6 months or what. They had like there was like a new Pixel Junk game coming out. Just like for like a couple of years there, they were just rolling, pumping stuff out. Is it Dylan Cuthbert?
Yeah, shout out to Dylan
No.
Cuthbert.
Yeah,
Awesome. All right, carry on.
man, this was some.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's just like, man, because they had definitely want to bring up Pixel Junk because they had so many. All of them were quality indie games, and back then they were like $9 or whatever. You know, back when
Oh yeah.
indie games were like super cheap before they jumped to 15 and then 20 and now 30. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but so cool, great studio.
Totally.
I'll do a quick shout out to Uncharted 4.
Really,
Yeah. I thought it was a great game, great way to finish off the franchise, if you like. Yeah, just really polished, looked great on the PS4, and it just really felt like a nice nod to it. You know, everything kind of joined up and just worked really well for me. So, yeah, just to do it. I won't go on about it too much because they're re-releasing all these again on the PS5. Like, it's just getting a bit tired now. But I did really enjoy this game and lots of fun.
Yeah, it's a good one. I just bought it for my nephew for Christmas. One of the
Ooh.
he expects video games from his uncle. I mean, of course he does.
Yeah, of course.
Young man looks
Cool,
into
Uncle Joel.
gets to Christmas, looks at the tree, looks for the video games. Where's the package from Shay and Joel, Uncle Shay and Aunt Joel? And it has to be a video game. I mean, if I get him anything else now, it's just completely disappointing. It could be like $1,000 bill, and he's like, "This isn't a video game. This sucks." But this year, I put Uncharted 4 on his list because we were talking at the Bucks game. Took him to a Bucks game a while back, and he's like, "I never played Uncharted." No, he played the one with the two gals. What's the Lost Legacy?
Lost Legacy.
Yeah, he played that, but he never played any of the other ones. I'm like, oh, okay. Good to know. Make mental note. I'll pick him up Uncharted 4. And of course, it's cheap now, and I had fun with that game as well. Uncharted series is it was fun. Indiana Jones.
Links into, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it links into the Lost Legacy or Last Legacy, whatever it was, with Sam. So that's quite a good one to get him as well. I didn't put in.
Is this Dude Raider?
Yeah, Dude Raider. I didn't actually put any of the Tomb Raider games on my list, although I did play them and enjoy them all. But it was, I thought Uncharted was a push, to be fair. So
that's a great little Easter egg in Playroom, Astro's Playroom. Because whenever Uncharted first came out, there's it's a Dude Raider, and on the one of the TVs in the background, you see they're playing. It's got in the Uncharted style Dude Raider.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
yeah, put that on my list too. Astro's Playroom. Great game.
Ooh,
fantastic.
More of a modern game compared to what we're talking about here. Just fantastic.
Best freebie ever.
Yeah, great pack in, right? Just like Carl, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was a launch game, believe it or not, for the Switch.
Yeah.
Astro's Playroom, launch game, pack in. Brilliant. I miss the pack in. I don't do that anymore. It's a damn shame. Well,
I really loved The Last Guardian.
Ooh.
Yeah, my first experience with that kind of trilogy of games was with Eco, and absolutely fell in love with the game immediately. Absolutely brilliant. I still have yet to play through Shadow of the Colossus, but I do have the remake, which is definitely on my list of something to play. And The Last Guardian finally came out, and albeit it's kind of clunky, and the controls are very early PS3-ish. Like, it's not going to blow you away, but the story was absolutely brilliant. Just so much fun. Yeah. Just these games, and Eco's any indication and whatnot. They all kind of, just kind of get their hands on you and pull you right in. So and this was no exception. Like, definitely, like, you almost bring a grown man to tears by the end of it, because it's such a emotional journey, and they really do it like nobody else. So I mean, even getting past some of the clunkiness with the controls and the camera and whatnot, it's amazing. Definitely one of my favorites over the past 10 years. Brilliant game.
I'm glad you put it on there. Actually, I didn't. It didn't get on mine, but it was only because I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I got stuck. If I remember rightly, I got stuck in a part of that game, and you didn't get stuck. So like, I didn't mind the clunky controls because I knew what I was getting into. I knew it was a PS3 game lifted and dropped on the PS4 because they just couldn't. It was the PS4
and that's at
couldn't
best.
have done it. Yeah, at best. Right. So I was expecting the tank controls, and like I was like, it's going to be what it is. But I still thought it was pretty. I still thought it was a good-looking game in its own right, and the level of emotion that it managed to convey between the boy and the monster was just with barely any dialogue at all.
Yeah,
I think it did a phenomenal job of that, and
it's like every time it would be like climbing something, it would just be there's always that little slip, and just like your heart sinks. It's just like
yeah.
Their way of storytelling and being able to rope you in, like, not like there's nothing else like it in those games.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's a good. I think people need to play that game if they haven't played it. It might well be one that's passed people by, especially if they're getting a PS5 now, for example. It's definitely worth your time.
Yeah.
Another game I found worth my time was Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So that came out in 2018. I think I played it 2 years later. I hadn't played an Assassin's Creed game since Brotherhood, I think, and missed out loads. I just fell out of love with them, and people who know me know that I like mythology, and this was all centered in Greece and Sparta, and I was like, I think I'm on board. I picked it up cheap, and just couldn't. I love the side quests, love the story. There's some key characters in there and figures from Greece, like Socrates and Theseus and people. And it's like, oh man, this is just right up my avenue. So thoroughly enjoyed that, and I even picked up Valhalla, so I started playing that as well because I was like, right, this is more mythology. This is great.
Yeah, it was really cheap at Christmas. I grabbed it too. Probably never play it. I'm good at that. Buying games and never playing it. But it was totally cheap. You know what I'm going to miss? Segues. I'm going to miss segues.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in casual conversation. It's only a podcast thing. But going forward, guys, I expect as when we're hanging out, playing video games or doing whatever, doing video chats, please keep with the segues.
You got it.
I think it's embedded in us.
It's permanent. Yeah. We'll be doing segues in our retirement facilities 30, 40 years. Right. Like, oh. Brilliant. Jinx. Oh, shit.
Double jinx.
We're drinking some beers today. They're going down smooth. I'm liking this.
Nice. Good. I got a few left. I'll toss one out there. The Portal 1 and Portal 2.
Ooh.
Yeah, brilliant puzzle games, and the story in both of them. Even though the first one seemed more like, an exaggerated tech demo, I guess, in a way, came with the orange box.
Oh, yeah.
Back a couple generations ago. when Portal 2 came out, I saw, things about it. It's great, and so I picked it up and I started playing it, and I got about 5 minutes in, and I immediately, it's like, okay, I need to play the first one, and stopped playing it, and immediately went on the hunt. Literally was like driving around town, going store to store, looking for the orange box, and I found it way out on the other side of town, and I was so happy, and played through it. Like, it took me like a day and a half to get through the first one, and I was just absolutely hooked. Unbelievable. The whole environment, the whole theme of it was unlike anything I'd ever seen or experienced. And talk about a game that kind of ropes you in and gives you, brings a little bit of emotion out of you. The Portal series definitely did that for me, and immediately played through 2 right afterwards, and just even more goodness, I guess. I don't know how to describe it, but it is so great, and highly recommend, if you've never played it, to definitely experience them. Really, really cool games. So much fun. One. There's some great one-liners in it, and really will get you chuckling, and
GLaDOS is hilarious.
Oh, one of the greatest kind of antagonists. So good, and the tunes at the end of each game are just something to experience. Really, really cool stuff.
That's a great show.
I know, it's mine,
man. Totally.
All right, here we go.
All right, Carl and I have 2 left. Where are you at, Shane?
2 left. All right, let's hit record.
Carl held up a 2. I think the meant he had 2 left. Is that right, Carl?
I have got 2.
Okay. Where you at? Are we saving are we saving the best for last, or what?
I am at my best 2.
Okay. Well, my best 3.
Sure.
My best 3 would include, Carl, Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. I shared it earlier. Might even be my best. So I just want to be clear.
Yeah.
There's 2 left, but that game would be in the final 3, if not number 1. All right.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough.
We're all in the same spot. So for me, number 2, let's just say the top 3 are all interchangeable for me, but Red Dead Redemption 2 is in my top 3. Love the world, love the game, totally drawed me in. I don't usually play a game for, I don't even know, 24 hours, 30, 40 hours. How much, I forget how much I put into that.
It's long. It's probably about 40 hours. Ironing simulator.
Carl's doing the ironing symbol there with this. Yeah. Great game.
Good show.
Great game. It's not, I mean, come on. Yeah, you can iron during the game, but it's pretty intense at moments, and the story was fantastic. Multiple endings. Great game. Fun, great world, awesome writing, awesome characters. It's why Rockstar is who they are. They just nail these games. And for me, Red Dead Redemption 2 is the pinnacle of Rockstar's games. Absolutely love that game. Can't wait for 3. I'm assuming 3 will happen at some point, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's got to.
Over 20 years.
It's going to print money. Awesome game.
It's a masterpiece, isn't it? And same with Breath of the Wild. But they're both masterpieces at the end of the day. My opinion is subjective, of course. And I enjoyed a big chunk of Red Dead. Like I had no affiliation to it. Didn't play the first one, and my Xbox One X crashed and deleted my save after like 18 hours. So I started again, and I still got to the end of chapter 3, I think, which is a fair chunk in 20 odd hours or something.
Sure.
Who's to say? Maybe I'll go back and play it again at some point. But I did enjoy it. Like when I played, I just stopped playing it. I just fell off it. Like we do with so many other games. But I'm glad it's in your top couple.
Yeah, the way it ties the two together too, the way it goes back and gives nods to the first game, the writing is brilliant. Some of the best. There'll be a theme here with my last game and this game. The writing, the story, is where it's at for me in video games. And Red Dead Redemption 2, man, great story.
Yeah,
great story, and it's a fun game.
And I think it's not until you kind of finish it that you really understand how great it really is. I mean, there's a couple twists, a little bit well before the end and whatnot that I still think were kind of questionable. I kind of didn't really make sense and felt kind of like filler, but
yeah,
in the end of it is. I'll agree with Joel saying it is the pinnacle in Rockstar's single player writing.
yes,
It's going to be tough to beat, and I love the first Red Dead Redemption. I still prefer that to it. Maybe because I just kind of jumped in, not really knowing what to expect, and just kind of experienced it. As you're playing it, it wasn't just GTA with horses that a lot of people were calling it and whatnot. But
no,
they really took their storytelling to a next level in the second iteration. So yeah, definitely with you, man.
I think where 2 edges it out a little bit is just how beautiful the world is and how well fleshed out it is.
Yeah,
it's like I mentioned with Breath of the Wild earlier. It's like they put so much detail in every nook and cranny of that world, whereas 1 was a little bit more GTA on horses. It's not, but if there's one, it's more that than it is this flushed out world that Red Dead Redemption 2 became.
Yeah, they also had to make it playable on PS3, which I can imagine wasn't easy, and it kind of added maybe a lot of limitations that they weren't able to hit. But on last gen, the PlayStation 1, they've pulled everything out of those machines to really experience that, and they hit it out of the park. It's definitely a masterpiece, 100%.
Yeah, the amount of work and effort they put into every little bit of that world. I just love these massively open world games.
Right.
Without
the credits were like 45 minutes long. Like it took forever to get through the credits to the epilogue.
Yeah. Yep. Everybody worked on that game. Herculean effort. Great game. Can't wait for a third.
True.
Nice. I'm glad you've got me storytelling as well, because my last 2 are all down to the story.
Nice.
So, rolling up in second place, probably my favourite to the last, I don't know, however long this has been, a decade, I suppose, is Persona 5. Couldn't talk enough about the game. My first Persona game. I'd not really played Persona or Shin Megami Tensei before, and I guess what people say about them is true. The first one is the one that you fall in love with. So I just found the story just amazing. It's so well done. Great twist in it. Like, didn't see it coming, and just thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved all like the little shit that you have to do with like reading all the books in the city, and just the little side quests, like to go down the bars, taking a part-time job, like all this shit. Like, and I'm just like, I want to max out all these stats, and I want to romance all the characters, and it romances all the girls individually, and then romance them all at the same time, so you get like a bad ending where they all turn up on Valentine's Day and give you a slap in the face. I played through it 3 times to get different endings and to get the platinum, and it's just a phenomenal game. And then I bought Persona 5 Royale, or the Royale, which has got a new character in it right at the end, like at the game and stuff. So I'll definitely play through it all again. I just enjoyed it that much. And if you like, it's got one of my favourite video game soundtrack of all time as well. I just love it. It's brilliant, jazzy, fun, funky. It's superb. So I'm sure it's on your boys' list as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure you played it on the back of my recommendations every year.
For Strikers.
It's free in January. Persona 5 Strikers. That's not on my list. I did enjoy that this year though. I've not finished it yet, but took the old hard copy down and exchanged it. I was like, right, it's going to be free, so I'm going to have it digitally. So I might as well get rid of the hard copy. Take a leaf out of Joel's book right there. Yeah.
There you go.
I need some store credit because. And it's a moment of silence. I powered up my Vita this morning to play some platinum games. Like, you buy a bundle, download it on the Vita, press the button. She didn't respond. I was like, oh, okay, strange. Plugged it in, left it for a bit, went back, no life. Tried different leads, different plug sockets, and RIP, my Vita is finally done.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to go and get another one. Because
Dude,
I know, and I'm gutted. I had it since launch, and yeah, it's a real bummer. That is. What can you do? Like whenever I go on holiday, I always take it and play on the plane.
yeah.
I never take the Switch. I always take the VR. So it's a real bummer. That is. But I'll grab another one. I'm sure I can pick one up second hand from somewhere. But I want the OG one. With the OLED screen. I don't want the it always went on here as a one of my favourite bits of the last 10 years, the Vita, but it's probably a little bit older, I suppose. But yeah,
not much.
Yeah, so I need a bit of that store credit. And
fuck, man.
Yeah, I know, it's gutting. Yeah,
I love the Vita.
Yeah, Vita's brilliant. It's just such a great machine. So it's just a shame. Yeah, just finally run out of juice. But it is what it is.
Oh man.
Yeah. I know. Started bringing it down.
Because you were going to play Persona 4 Golden on the Vita.
I was. And I started playing that on Steam as well because I own that game on a couple of different places, of course.
That was funny when that game came out on Steam. Like everybody started selling their Vita copies and kind of flooded the market, like eBay and whatnot. And the price is really cheap. And then when PlayStation announced, the Vita store would be closing, which they haven't, the price on them just skyrocketed. And finding any Vita game and whatnot, or they're a mint now. Like they're extremely sought after. The games, the consoles. Godspeed, brother. Like I've been tempted to pick up a second Vita just to have, just in case. Because that is a great console and underrated, underappreciated.
Totally.
But the fact that it has such a cult following is unbelievable, and it's had so many great games on there. And my last two games, are kind of both Vita games or on the Vita. Aqua Kitty DX, which is a great little arcade shooter.
Awesome. Awesome.
And if we were doing a favorites of the year this year, this sequel, Astro Aqua Kitty, would be extremely high up there. They took elements of the first game and really expanded, added some RPG elements, some leveling up weapons, defenses, and really just kind of, with the series, and it's fantastic. They're both available on the Vita. They're both extremely great titles. Astro Aqua Kitty, the sequel, it's got an amazing soundtrack to it that is like almost hypnotic in a way, where you want to play it for a half hour and all of a sudden you've been playing for an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, and don't even realize it. Like it is so good. Just a great sequel. Blown away by it, how well they did it, and it's so fun. I love this series so much. It's great, and I was able to get a physical copy of both games. The first one through a limited run, which is highly collectible now, obviously, as well as the sequel through Ubisoft. Like there's only like 2,000 of them, and whatnot, but yeah, absolutely fantastic, and one of my favorites, especially on the Vita. It just works so well on the handheld. I mean, it might be available on Switch as well. If it is, definitely worth looking into. Very, very fun games.
That's so cool that you've got that on that list.
Totally.
Howdy, bud.
It's something that I just associate that game with you now.
You should.
Anything kitties, I associate with Shane. And thanks for sending my wife just constant cat pictures through social media. She's always just raving about the Shane. It's great. Thank you. Making my wife smile all the time.
We've got a few. Like, it's so good. I got to show Joel. Let's go.
Incredible. We're down to one. I thought this would be on Shane's list. It's not. That's okay. Last of Us Part 2. Man, what a game. The best story in all video games, bar none. Brilliantly written, controls are fantastic. The graphics are great. Everything about the game is amazing. The tension in the characters, the way they're splitting paths between two different characters, the ending, unbelievable. I mean, seriously, the best movies aren't written as well as this game is written. Unbelievable. Everybody needs to play this game, Carl. The Last of Us Part 2. Amazing video game. And as I close out ABOG, I had to mention it last because it's just, the story is amazing. So good.
I contemplated, and it was like, what am I gonna like? So, like the first one or a second one, and I really, was kind of thinking of what, which was a better story. Like, and I think the second one might be better. I think I might be with you on that one.
It's the tension. It's the way that
the first one was just
the two characters are interweaving. It's unbelievable. You're switching sides throughout the game. I mean, as they put you in the character's shoes, no spoilers, but it's like midway through the game, you switch characters and it's like, you're mad. You're like, I don't want to be this character. That character is a jackass. Fuck that character. And you get to the end, you're like, no, the other character's a jackass. It's so well written and just brilliantly weaved together. Absolutely loved it.
And forces you into those awkward situations, like you said, where you don't want to be and you don't want, I hate this character,
right.
But I think if it wasn't, all the story stuff had not have been leaked, this game would get a lot more praise and definitely be up there as, one of the greatest stories in a video game, and the first game is absolutely unbelievable as well, and I know people don't like, stealth elements, don't have patience. People, want to run and gun, especially against, the undead or whatnot. I know Carl absolutely hates zombies, but it's both of them together are just, there's masterpieces and then there's The Last of Us. And the second one is just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and the way
unbelievable.
The way they're not afraid to kill off a main character, like pretty quick in a number 2, and in such brutal fashion.
Yeah.
Which is why you end up hating that character, only to find out that character's plot made sense with why that brutal murder occurred. Just unbelievable writing.
Dude.
I want to play it again. I mean, quite frankly,
hair standing on the back of my neck.
It's some of the best. It's some of the best of the writing I've experienced in a video game. And now I'm on board. And I know I made fun of it earlier, but I'm on board for the HBO show. Like, just give me more. Like, I need more of that story.
Right?
Yeah.
Filmed in Canada too.
Ooh. Yep.
Good.
Carl's drinking
just a little to wet my whistle.
Yeah.
A lot of what you've just said there can be said about my favourite game in the past decade. Apart from the fact that this is better, it's The Witcher 3.
Ooh,
really?
Yeah, shock horror. Again, it's just head and shoulders above anything else that I've played. Its storytelling is just the best I've ever played in any game. And watched in anything really on TV. Like, there's a reason why they've made 2 seasons of a Netflix show are excellent. And there's so many side quests, so many random things you come across in the game. And one of the biggest knocks I think that a lot of people who don't play RPGs have with RPGs is like, oh man, I've got to go and kill 10 rats for some dude, and then because he's going to give me a slightly better stick or whatever, right? And that shit doesn't happen. Like the Witcher 3 is it's well done, it's brutal and grim, but it's the side quests that you stumble across are just works of art in themselves. Some of them, the whole arching parts of that could be DLC. The Bloody Baron quest in particular is just amazingly well done, and I'll play that game and I'm just immersed in it. Love it. I think I did check my play time again. It's still only 544 hours, so it's gone up a little bit since the last time we spoke about it. But for a single player game with a story campaign that's probably 80 hours, I don't know, 100 hours, that's probably a bit of overkill on my part. But again, I just love jumping into the world, and I'll jump on the horse, wander around, and kill a couple of monsters, do a little mission here, just explore. All these years later, I mean, this game was 2015, and I still go back and still play it. I've still got one part of the DLC which I haven't done as well, and it's just a masterpiece. Like I just can't. People play it on Twitter and they're like, "It's not for me," and I'm like, "How can you not like this?" I just don't understand. If you like story and great characters and just all right, the combat's it's not as good as it could be, and there are flaws with it, but it's still beautifully well done, and it's just an amazing game that I'll always play this game. Like it's never get rid of it, never delete it. I own it so many times. I own it twice on the PlayStation, digitally and physically, and completely wrong because I bought all the DLC. And then I bought the Game of the Year edition with it all on anyway, and the game saves aren't compatible. So I was like, "Oh, right." So I've still got the discs. That's okay. Like it's not great. But yeah, superb game. I don't think anything will ever top it. And the reason that Cyberpunk had so much pressure on it was how good they made this game, and they had no right to really. But you boys need to play it.
That's true.
It's the Polish. I mean, we know how to develop video games.
Yeah, we've got to stick up for our own, Joel.
That's right. Brilliant.
Right. All right. My last one. And not necessarily. Maybe my
Last of Us Part 2.
Part 3. Right? Imagine that. May not be my absolute favorite, but it's right up there. And I don't think this game gets enough praise. It is an underrated gem in the racing genre, obviously, and that's Horizon Chase Turbo, which is an ode and a throwback to the old Outrun style, Top Gear, pole position style of racing games of our youth.
Rad Racer.
And it is Rad Race, yeah. And this game is absolutely brilliantly done. The art style is very unique. It is gorgeous. It's very pretty to look at. The soundtrack is done by the same gentleman that did the soundtrack to Top Gear. So the music is absolutely 10 out of 10.
Nice. Plays
incredibly well. It is not going to hold your hand. However, the difficulty, definitely ramps up, and it is not the easiest game, but it is very, very good and very, very fun. I think it's available on almost every platform. I know it's available on the Switch, and if you're a Switch owner and you like handheld racing games, you cannot go wrong with this game. It is absolutely brilliant. It did come out on the Vita, albeit physical only, which was extremely hard to get. I think there's only a couple thousand of them as well. I do own 2 copies, and it does not play as brilliantly on the Vita, as there is a lot of load times, and it is not great on there. But fans of this game, we appreciate it, and even just having it run on the Vita and putting it out, and it only being physical, is super, super cool. And yeah, it was free on Plus, I think, about a year ago or so. And there's a lot of haters out there, but this game is very good and very, very fun. The PS4 is where I usually normally play it, and it's excellent. They've added there's a couple DLC packs to come with it, so they've been adding content. There's an art and incentive pack, which puts you in an F1 car, and it actually puts it into first person view, which is super cool for a game like this to have that. But yeah, if you grew up loving Outrun, like this is right up there with it. Like no cap at all. This is up there with Outrun. If you're a fan of that series, you will adore this. It is absolutely brilliant, and definitely worth your time if you're a racing fan like myself.
Whew. Man, I wasn't expecting that one in there.
No, what a great way to end it.
Me either.
Man.
It's a good little game, that is.
It is. There's too many haters.
I love the curveball. Shane's just, I'm going to miss that. I'm going to miss Shane's just unique perspective. Cutting edge. Well done.
Curveballs.
Well done, brother.
Curved balls.
Well done. I have an honorable mention.
It was free on Plus as well, and I think it got such a great little reception. You know, I think a lot of people jumped on it and was like, "Oh yeah, an old school difficult racer."
I have it on Switch. It feels great.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, sorry, Joel. You kind of cut out a little bit of latency there when you mentioned a curveball.
Yeah,
there's no latency on my end where I'm recording everything, but yeah. Great
Excellent.
Game. Great game. Excellent. You know, fuck you, Spectrum.
Okay. Well, apologies if we were...
Spectrum Internet can go piss off.
Apologies if we're talking over each other for a second there. It seems like a little bit of latency, but we're good. We're good. It's ABOG.
We're making the best of it. The Gardens Between, an honorable mention.
There's some games in there, right? That's some selection.
Very good. And yeah, a stupid internet. So frustrating.
Yeah.
What can you do? What can you do?
Let's get to the beers.
Wouldn't be ABOG without it.
Let's just get to the beers.
Yeah.
All right. Right.
Okay. Well, first here, because I probably have the least interesting one. I've gone with Old Faithful. It's been my favorite beer for the past couple of years. Boombox Subsonic IPA, 4% alcohol, 100% flavor, delicious. It's been my go-to. You know, I just a full flavored IPA with less calories, less alcohol, and you can crush easily a dozen of them in an evening, especially if it's New Year's.
Easily?
If buddy, don't even talk to me. Yeah, it's just a good, high quality, tasty, hazy IPA. And I'm with you on the lower percentages, man. I'm with you on those. Just a little bit more crushable, more enjoyable. You know, I've done too many of the 7-8% over the years, and you get about 7 or 8 in, and it's just lights out.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, mate. And over the years, well, like, you know, the lower percentage beers are getting tastier. Like there's a lot, they tend to be. They used to be crap. Like, you know, you're drinking a 4% beer or lager, whatever. You know, and
yes,
one of the things I'm grateful for in the past 10 years is the rise of the craft beer, because, like, you know, I used to drink some right shit when I was younger, and now at least you got a bit of a selection. You drink some tasty brews.
Yeah, for sure. So it's been my go-to. You know, it's been out for a couple of years, and hopefully it never gets discontinued. And, you know, pick these up, you know, flat at a time, because they're just,
oh man,
right, good to have on hand, and anybody can enjoy them. If you like an IPA, you're gonna love it. It's been my beer of the year 2 years in a row now. Right?
It's going to need its own plaque at some point.
Right.
I'm going to give a shout out to Captain America himself, Chris Evans. He in our Discord and on Twitter, he's recommended a brewery to me this year, Daya, from down in Cheltenham, I think they are. And you know, I'm sure regular listeners to the show will know that I really appreciate Vocation. I think they do some great brews, some great stouts, and Chris hit me up and he was like, "Man, you got to try some of these beers. They do some great brews." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I'll order a box or two." And then a couple of weeks back, I noticed that Vocation and Daya were doing a collaboration brew, which is called Summer Somewhere, and it's just a pale ale, but it's juicy and very thick and see. And it fast become one of my favourite beers of the year, but sadly it was a collaboration, bit of a special, and struggling to get hold of it now, which is a real shame. So this is my last one. I thought last show, my last Summer Somewhere, and probably the right thing to do is drink the last one I've got on this last show. So yeah,
legend.
Summer Somewhere, and it's a nice, as I said, collaboration between Vocation and Daya, and It's fine brew. It is a good one. And this will go down in no time at all.
Looks delicious.
Chug, 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 chug.
Oh, yeah.
I've got this is mailed to me in a box, and I saved it for this episode. The Parallel 49 Filthier, Dirtier Double IPA. 9%. Beautiful artwork from the gentleman who does our logo. Anxious to give it a taste. Shane, you'd be proud. I just spilled all over the floor. Had to go run up, get a rag, clean it up,
King.
Yep. Cheers, gentlemen, to ABOG. All the years of great times.
Cheers, boys.
Great people. Great friends. You guys are the best. Cheers.
Love you, boys.
Love you, man. Skull.
Love you guys too. Oh, it's so good. Delicious. We have got
this one, kind of a one-off that they did. Taking Filthy Dirty, which I know you really enjoyed.
Oh yeah,
years ago and whatnot, and they kind of just supercharged it, doubled it, 9%, and they announced that as like, there's no way Joel's not gonna try this, So definitely, it was a no-brainer to get one in your hands, and dude, saving it for the last. That's unbelievable, dude.
I mean, we had to, right? I mean, they got it in the mail. I'm like, we're counting them down. I got to put it in the fridge, keep her fresh and cold until we get to that point.
Yeah.
I sent you guys one. I was hoping it would show up in time. It didn't. That's okay. We're playing some games in 2 weeks, and 2 weeks thereafter.
Not yet.
No.
Yeah, it'll happen. It's all good.
Yeah. There he goes. He's going in for another swig.
Oh, man. Boy. So good. Before we get to
he's enjoying
the message and the thank yous, just wanted to give our personal social media, which we're not super active on, but at least if you want to reach out, you want to keep in touch, best place to do so while it continues to be free, I hope. Discord. We have an A Band of Gamers Discord. You can check us out there. You can find that link on abandofgamers.com. If you hear this episode, more than likely that website is probably still up and active. So abandofgamers.com, at the bottom of the page, there's a Discord link. Join us there. Let's keep the conversation going. I hope everybody who's there right now continues to be active, continues to keep these things going. But let's share our social media. We're on Twitter and Instagram at A Band of Gamers. Shane kind of mans most of that. That probably will, it's free, right? It's not going away. It's not getting deleted. That's a spot.
Yeah, not going away, but I think, as we go forward, we're still playing games and whatnot, so you'll still see some content there going up,
Yeah. Love it.
For sure.
Yeah. If you play a great game or whatnot or something we enjoy, you probably see a post about it at some point.
I love it. That's great. Carl, what's your social media? I always get confused. Some are with a T, some are with an R.
Oh, yeah. I'll still be on Twitter. I'm not going anywhere particularly. I'm at Srathem over there, so at SRATHEM for monkey. And I'm still, we'll be chatting. We'll still be around. We're not disappearing anywhere.
No.
So, and obviously on Discord as well. Discord's a great place to hang out and talk various things. And yeah, it's just a nice community we've got. It's good people. That's we're not going to stop talking to those people. So,
of course,
100%. And so I got mainly my Twitter, Skippy Nix, NIXX, and Instagram as well for weird and creepy posts or whatever, if that's your thing. I'm there as well. Probably the best two places, as well as in the Discord and whatnot, or send a PSN friend request if you want as well, because I'm always on there and always score chasing something. So
And I am at 5spot Joel on Twitter and Instagram. And I'm very inactive on both, but I'm still around and still able to chat. So please say hey if you so would like or choose. Or Discord, great spot. And if you don't want to look us up on Discord, you want an easy spot, abandonedgamers.com. Click on the About Us. I think that's what I have it labeled as. And then there's a Meet the Crew button at the bottom of that page. You can see Carl, Shane, myself, and Brad's social media links. Some of our Discog links if you want to check out our record collection and make fun of us for what we like. That's
Right.
an option as well. Yeah. We have a message. Carl, you want to read the message?
Yeah, of course. So this comes from Dan in France.
France, let's go, bonjour.
Jolly old Francais. And he said it's sad to hear that ABOG is ending. Going to be so weird not hearing your voices anymore. I've been listening to old episodes for the last few months, every day in the car, starting back around the launch of the Switch. He says he picked one up, so he wanted to hear what our impressions, what we thought, and any ideas for games that he might want to pick up. And he says, I suppose I'll have to go even further back, maybe start right from the beginning. Probably wouldn't recommend going that far back.
No.
Bless your heart, Dan.
I know. So, what games do we recommend then? I mean, we've just covered quite a few Switch ones. Dan says he's already got Breath of the Wild, Joel, Mario Odyssey, Borderlands collection, Pokemon Let's Go, and Diablo 3. So there's kind of a few on there. I'd throw out
Is Genshin Impact on there?
Genshin. I've not seen it on the Switch, actually.
If it is, I would recommend that one, especially with Breath of the Wild fan.
Yes, Genshin's great. It is a really good game. I'd definitely say Hades is worth a shot. Hades is great. Definitely pick up and play. Like one of them games, you don't have to worry too much about it. Just do a couple of runs, drop it back down. Xenoblade obviously is awesome, but it depends if you're into RPGs. But I definitely recommend Hades. I think there's a physical copy on the Switch as well, which you'll only appreciate, I'm sure.
Yeah, Animal Crossing was fun. It's very silly, stupid, good time killer. And Luigi's Mansion 3. Throw that on the list.
Yes.
Good show.
Yeah, that game's awesome.
Otherwise referred to 20, 30, 40 minutes ago.
Right.
Yeah, go back. There's some good Switch games in there for sure.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you're a racing fan, Horizon Chase Turbo, like I mentioned, is definitely a good old school, perfect for a Nintendo handheld.
Totally.
But yeah.
All right. On to the thank yous. Closing out the episode. Closing out ABOG. Entering phase 2. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go first because the very beginnings of ABOG started with shout out to Justin Gorson from 360 Nation, who gave me my first opportunity to be on a video game podcast on what at the time was called Xbox 360 Nation. A little play on
360 Nation, yep.
Yeah, thank you. 360 Nation is what it was called. God, it goes back so many years ago. 2010, 2009, I think.
Before that.
First joined that episode, that podcast, and then eventually went on to Glenn and Josh with PS Nation. Shout out to those guys. Thank all three of them for the opportunities. Helped me get to where I am at today. If it wasn't for those three guys, I wouldn't have made Shane and Carl. So I'm very grateful to all three of those guys. Bill, shout out to Bill for being there, for creating a band of gamers. He was at the very beginning. He was there for a year. I appreciate that. My wife, who has put up with God knows what for I don't even know how long, letting us do this podcast. I mean, for the longest time, we didn't do it tonight because we've chilled a little bit, but we've had some internet latency. I could have easily walked upstairs and said, turn off the TV, turn off your iPad, shut your phone down, which is what she did for the longest time. Dedicated these 3 hours, 2 hours, whatever, were dedicated to us, to ABOG, and the whole house would shut down just to make sure we could have like proper internet strength. And she's been so supportive. My family, I don't know how many times my family's like, hey, it's so-and-so's birthday and we got to hook up on a Sunday I'm like, nope, I'm recording that day. It's not happening. just to keep the cadence of ABOG going on. Like, nope, can't do it. My family now knows our schedule and plans around it. So shout out to my family. My employer, I work for a company now. I'm in radio now. Work for a company who does radio stations, and they're so supportive of ABOG. They talk about it all the time. The owner of our company, very successful radio guy, mentions ABOG in conversation. It's absolutely astounding. My teammates who support us, and then of course all of our friends we've made. There's way too many to list, way too many, and a lot of them have gotten shout outs throughout this episode. But a lot of them are in Discord. But thank you to all of you who have listened, who supported us. Seriously, way too many to list. But thank you so much, and Brad, my cousin Brad, doing the music, doing the music blog, being a part of ABOG. He's a busy guy. He's in he's in retail. He's super busy, but totally stepped up to be a part of this, and I appreciate him tremendously. So thank you to everybody.
I thought I listened to and knew a lot about music until meeting Brad. He is a next level music connoisseur and absolutely brilliant. It's a pleasure to have met him and chat with him and have him along for the ride as well.
Seconded. Yeah, lovely guy. Knows his stuff, and his music posts are great. Really, they're still up on the site. Go and have a little look, have a read of some of that stuff. Like his favorites of the year were really great.
Yeah, that stuff's still out there. So if you go to our website and look up the blog, you see all Brad's posts. And of course, thank you to Shane and Carl. You guys are the best, but we're still going. So we can move on to the next thank yous because phase 2 is only beginning.
Phase 2 of our friendship, yeah.
That's right.
Looking forward.
It's never going to end. We're going to be in our retirement homes with our devices, whatever their devices look like at that age. Still chatting about video games and music. And you guys are the best. Amazing. Thank you so much.
And thanks.
Vince. Oh my God.
Buddy, don't even.
How can I not say Vince's name? Thank you, Shane. Good Lord. It's 4 beers. It's 4 beers and a double filthy dirtier right here. I mean, seriously. Vince is the best.
Dude, that's a top drawer West Coast.
It's
double.
It's delicious. Absolutely delicious. Vince is the best. Shout out to Vince. No question.
This man loves his West Coast IPA.
One of my best friends. Yes.
Yeah. Shout out to a lot of the early crew in the beginning, the Killzone Knights. Close second, our man 5K. He's become a very, very good friend. Close second, got to meet down in Seattle. My first Mariners game, first of many.
Wow!
And absolute pleasure. We said our man 5K legend GR Sonic for kicking my ass in a lot of racing games. That guy's a serious gamer. Brilliant. Xanthan Gum, the Scotsman back in the day, one of the best screen names. A lot of our friends now have come along, a little bit later and whatnot with Tim Paul and to my homie Massive Attack, who I met through Killzone Nights and just had a great time. That was the first of many games we played, and he's become my best friend and love the guy dearly and would not have met if it had not been for ABOG.
That's lovely.
That's so cool.
Man, we've already given a lot of shout outs to people I was going to cover as well, to be fair.
Let her rip, man.
Well, I mean, there's no harm in doing it more than once. We've already given a shout out to Tim and to Dave, but for me, it's getting across and spending time with you, Shane, spending time with Joel, and going to 2 MGCs and being helping out, sneaking off and playing games and drinking beers while Joel was doing all the work, meeting just amazing people involved, and it's so so nice to meet people like that. Like Tim,
Yeah.
he's a legend, and he's a great streamer in his own his own right. He's doing he's been a part of this community for ages. And Dave and his lovely wife Erica got to hang out with them when we went across to MGC, beers, and they're just again just wonderful people. Whenever I've gone to conventions in the UK, I've gone to expos and stuff. He's always been a great fun to hang out with. He's a hardworking, nice guy, and with them, he's always been kind of very vocal, very helpful, and get.
Oh man, we're having
ideas and
we're massive
grand people, and just being in a circle of.
My goodness,
massive. What's that, Joel?
We're having the absolute worst timing possible on our thank you lists. My internet's just crapping out. I'm only catching certain names in all of this. It's both eerie and fitting, I suppose, as we close out ABOG.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, guys, but there's probably names you mentioned that just didn't get recorded. It absolutely sucks. Keep going. So sorry, but just trying to explain to the listener. It's cutting in and out. It's awful.
These people know who they are.
I hope so.
The other podcasts that I've got to know and got to be part of, and the entertainers. I'll just close it off by saying the other, so shout out to Katie and to Kyle and Pete and Antonio, and to Nat. Like it's they're all like little families, all these communities, and if you're members of good ones, then keep on listening, keep on supporting, because we certainly appreciate you.
I'm just going to repeat what's in the agenda because it was seriously, it's like bittersweet. The internet is just completely cutting out. It's fitting. It's like we're dying a slow death here.
They're trying to shut us down.
We've been cancelled.
But the timing is
what would happen.
Absolutely awful. Absolutely awful. Shane's got close second. Arman 5K, GR Sonic, Massive Attack, Tim Paulin, Barzanek. Carl's got Brad, Tim Paulin, David Sodi, Barzanek, Will McKellar, and then all the podcasts, including Entertain Nerds, that he was a part of. So sorry, guys. Just it knows. It's like, okay, the internet can finally stop breathing at your house. Apparently, I'm not going to be able to stream content forever. Thanks to we're going to have to bring ABOG back just so I can watch television.
You can't demo that carrot to people.
Oh my God. Awful timing, but
the last episode.
It is what it is. We're not recording this one again. This is it. We're not doing 4 episodes, Shane, till we get it right. This is the one. Oh my God. But we're entering phase 2, and we're still around. We're still available. We want to hear from you. I hope that we still connect with people 10 years from now. Thanks to ABOG, if we keep paying the fees and keep everything up for 10 years. I don't know, but we'll see. But I just thank you, everybody.
Things will be up for
they'll probably forever. I love having it there.
Quite a while.
Such great memories.
Really has been.
For sure.
A lot of great.
It's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
Doing a podcast is a lot of work, as John knows. And
it's a grind, a little bit.
But it's been one of the most rewarding things I've ever done. It's just by meeting the people and being a part of an industry that I wanted to be a part of for so long. And just doing some of those things was just really, ticks a box. It's really fulfilling.
Well said.
I mean, it's been cool, signing babies and whatnot, but
signing babies, all the free beers we've been drinking on these shows, and we've been talking about these breweries, just free games, but we don't do it for the fame, and Shane can't even open his door because of the thumbnail, but He's had to get a door outside the door. You know what I mean? So he's had to get like a little porch just for the fan mail. So you might be able to get rid of that now.
Hope so. Hope so, man. It's but the people have spoken, and Ringo got fan mail with all the videos back in the day. Ringo was the one.
Oh, so.
Well, he got the most fan mail because he was the nicest Beatle.
True. Yeah, it's been. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what's next. Phase 2 of our friendship, and on to something else now.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Phase 2.
It'll be something to fill the void, a new hobby or something. But it's been a hell of a run. Hell of a run every couple of weeks for so many years. But
yeah,
the change is good.
Mm-hmm.
It's bittersweet.
It's come to an end.
It's hard
Beers
to stop.
Are good.
Beers are good. Hard to stop. My wife just came downstairs, told me the streaming internet's working like crap. Like, shocking. I didn't know.
Really?
Yeah. Great. Yeah. You can't watch the Red Zone. Oh. Yeah. Thank you, Spectrum. Again, fuck you, Spectrum.
God damn. We're just going to end that.
If we can even get it out, Carl,
Yeah.
Well, if not, it'll be the missing last episode.
Oh my God. I want to record this one all over with, but we're not doing that.
No.
It's like, this is it. This is how we end. But it's been an absolute pleasure. Shane, Carl, and I, we continue on. We're on to the next phase. We hope you're a part of whatever the next phase is for you. Discord or on our social media. We're not dying. We're just not doing ABOG anymore. We still want to talk to you. Yep. We still want to hang out. We still want to hear from you. What's been a big pleasure for me, and I'm sure these two guys as well, is hearing from you. The connections we made, albeit small, have been absolutely incredible. And that's what's been special about ABOG, is we don't have this wide net of all these internet trolls. We have just few and select and amazing people that we've connected with and made friends with. The stuff that I've experienced in my life, and I'm sure these guys the same, from meeting some of you, absolutely incredible. I'm not going to miss it because it's not stopping. That's going to continue on. And I just thank you, every one of you who's reached out, who's connected with us, who's talked with us. I've made such great friends in Shane and Carl, and I hope to make more friends in you people as we continue on. So thank you, everybody. It's the relationships, right? I keep saying this. It's the relationships that are important in podcasting. I never wanted to be a part of a podcast that touches 1 million people because you don't meet anybody. But in what we do, you connect with individuals, and it's been absolutely astounding. Changed my life. Amazing. And evidence in these two guys right here. It's absolutely incredible. So we wanted to leave a show on our feed to end everything and just to leave it hang. And I think this has been a great episode for that, right? Video games, our core, some amazing video games that 4 years from now, you could listen to this show and find something golden in there.
100%.
Absolutely right. It is the relationships, it is the friendships, and we've been very lucky in that respect, so I think.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. See you soon.
We won't see you in 2 weeks.
No. But I'll see you guys.
Goodbye.
In 2 weeks.
Farewell, and enjoy your games, eh?
Nice.